Since their youngest daughter, Josie Duggar, suffered an unexpected and serious medical issue that needed hospitalization. Difficulty. The Duggar family is going through a challenging emotional period because of her early birth and the problems she had as a baby. Considered as a miracle kid, Josie has always given the family hope and courage. Now, they are surviving this unanticipated difficulty and handling the uncertainty of her illness based on their faith and each other. Stillness prayers full of hope, each one a plea for protection and healing for her youngest daughter, who has always been her warrior, interrupt the stillness for Michelle Duggar. Sitting near her bed in this sterile, quiet hospital room, her hands softly grip Josie's frail fingers. Tears in her eyes nevertheless. Her resolute attitude reveals how strong she has grown from years of parenting and hardship. Greetings to everybody. When it launches, I hope you will all join me on Vivi and thumbs up this video. Jim Carrey's Bob Duggar is sitting close to the window. His shoulders hunched in an abnormally vulnerable posture as he stares out at the hospital parking lot below. He turns to face Michelle and murmurs, "Michelle," in a shaking voice. His daughter's sickness weighs much on him, and he no longer feels the dependable rock he once was for the family. "I should be able to hold it together, but right now Josie and I are lost on what to do." Michelle gets up and comes up to Jim, laying a consoling hand on his shoulder, "So I wouldn't lose her. We have experienced flames before," she adds. She speaks softly yet firmly. "Bob and I have come out stronger. We have to believe in God's plan, even if we cannot grasp it, because Josie is ultimately a fighter at heart." The entrance to the chamber, the creaks open. Johannah Duggar creeps in softly, bringing a tray loaded with her parents' coffee cups. She sets the tray on the tiny table in the corner and murmurs something consoling to her parents. "The doctor said he'd be back soon with an update before he goes in, so let's all pray for Jim." Despite the stress, one by one arrival of the Duggar siblings fills the room with the love and encouragement of family. While the older children naturally assume responsibilities of care and encouragement, the younger ones cling to their siblings to feel comforted. Bob and Michelle nod, their features softening just little at their daughter's consideration. Though the hospital environment is sterile, love and support abound in the room. Every family member alternately circles with hands held. The family's voices, vibrating with passion yet steadfast in their faith as they alternately talk to God, helps Josie's nervous mind to settle. The soft murmur of their group prayers starts to echo the room soon. The family remains silent as the prayer ends, their hands clasped tightly intertwined, and words of trust and optimism abound. A moving emblem of the family's love and togetherness, the camera passes over Josie's little hand, which is still in Michelle's. The Duggars wait for the news, devoted despite their anxiety. The sound of footsteps outside the chamber suggests the doctor's coming, thereby accentuating the tension of the situation. The Duggars' tenacity has helped them to overcome numerous obstacles, and their close ties have kept them together both in times of plenty and crisis. The Times TV team was all over. Juggleton Jinger child for 17 years. Zulu Zala cast member on the TLC reality program 19 Kids and Counting. Jinger is a writer and mother of 2. Her kids are becoming 3 years old. Someone who likes to bring others delight, Jinger and her husband Jeremy revealed the news of their 3rd child's expected birth in October in a forthcoming book called Breaking Free from the Burden of Imaginary Expectations, as well as in my forthcoming narrative, Disentangling Faith from Fear. The pair said in a recent YouTube video that they were expecting a boy, Jeremy declaring, "I'm speechless." Jinger said in an interview with Entertainment Tonight that she nearly fell off her chair as she felt a lot of resemblance to her pregnancy with her 2 girls. The couple has pledged to keep the identity of their unborn kid under wraps until the baby is born. Baby Vu's expected arrival falls in March 2025. Though she and her husband Jeremy shared a lot of their life on social media, Jinger Duggar had lived her entire life in front of reality TV cameras. Their 2 children are Felicity, 6 years old, and Evelyn, 3 years old. Counting On was postponed to 2021. She and her husband Jeremy Vu have moved into a more low-key lifestyle with the birth of 2 kids together. Jinger and Jeremy examined her reality TV experience on this week's Jinger and Jeremy podcast, including whether or not she would ever be ready to share her life in the same style, and if Jinger would ever return to reality TV. even if years had passed. So that is not happening anymore, particularly if it entailed recording her life in its complete like her family shows did. Right now on the program, I'm not sure, that is just my personal viewpoint. Jinger said she doesn't now find the perfect spot to remember her time on 19 Kids and Counting, but this does not imply she doesn't have good memories of the program. Returning to reality TV would not evoke the same feelings as the first time, particularly since you wouldn't have the same colleagues or film crew. She continued by saying that if she were to do another program without recording as a bigger family unit, there are many things that would seem very different, as it would cause a trap of always living on the past. Known for their big and close-knit clan as well as their reality TV notoriety, the Duggar family recently had a heart-wrenching worry when Josie Duggar, the youngest of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's 19 children, was abruptly sent to the hospital. As the family gathered around their cherished miracle baby, Michelle clearly became upset and Jim Bob struggled to keep his cool. It all started on a calm Saturday evening at the Arkansas house of the Duggars. Now a vivacious adolescent bursting with energy, Josie had been spending time with her siblings when she started to feel sick. Family members said that the usually energetic Josie complained of extreme stomach discomfort and vertigo, frightening everyone around her. "Josie has always been our small warrior," Michelle replied, her voice quivering with feeling. "She has gone through so much already, to see her in pain like that was just intolerable." The family lost no time at all. Jim Bob hurried Josie to the closest hospital after fast loading her into the vehicle with assistance from elder son John David. The choice to go immediately to the emergency department highlighted the gravity of the matter for a family that has traditionally depended on home cures and prayer during times of sickness. Memories of Josie's turbulent beginning in life flooded back as the family waited impatiently for medical updates. Josie weighed barely 1 pound, 6 ounces at birth. She was born on December 10, 2009, at only 25 weeks gestation. Michelle's acute preeclampsia caused her early birth and placed mother and child in danger. Jim Bob said, tears shining in his eyes. "She's been a miracle from the very beginning. We've always understood that God had a unique purpose for Hannah, but it doesn't make times like these any easier." Living in the newborn intensive care unit, NICU, Josie overcame one challenge after another during the first few months of her existence. She has struggled with health issues connected to her early birth throughout the years, but her fortitude has always been evident. Seeing Josie sick once again sent the Duggars back into a sea of doubt and anxiety. Michelle's motherhood was clearly on show in the hospital. She grabbed Josie's hand and whispered prayers and consoling words as she waited for responses. Michelle, known for her cool head and kind approach, said that this experience tried her endurance never before. "As a mother, you simply want the suffering gone," Michelle remarked. "Lord, please let it be me instead of her," I kept thinking. The emotional toll was clear not just for Michelle, but for the Duggar family as whole. Josie's worried-faced siblings gathered in the waiting area of the hospital. One of Josie's elder sisters, Jinger Vuolo, even traveled in from California to be with her family. "Josie is like a beam of sunlight in everyday life," Jinger said. "She is usually the one telling us to appreciate the little pleasures and making us laugh. Her life in this state is just sad." Doctors gave Josie their diagnosis. She had a serious case of appendicitis after several hours of testing and consultations. Though curable, the disorder needed quick surgery to stop further problems. Though the news was troubling, the family felt relief as well. "Knowing what was wrong gave us direction," Jim Bob remarked. "We could at last begin to concentrate on getting Josie well." The family once again resorted to their religion for strength. The operation was set for that same evening. Like usual Duggar style, they asked for prayers and well wishes for Josie by contacting her vast circle of friends and supporters. The surgery went well, and surgeons were able to remove Josie's irritated appendix free from problems. Still, there were difficulties along the way toward recuperation. Josie was in the hospital for many days getting antibiotics and close observation to make sure her body was recovering correctly. Josie's fortitude started to show once again throughout her hospital stay. Her upbeat demeanor and sharp wit delighted nurses and physicians even as she healed from the operation. "She's such a courageous small girl," one nurse said. "She is considering others and tries to make everyone happy even in agony." The Duggar family expressed their great thanks for the outpouring of support they had from loved ones, while Josie kept building her strength. "We really appreciate everyone that prayed for Josie," Michelle stated. "God has really blessed us with an amazing community. We are reminded once more of the value of life." The event also reminds the Duggars to treasure every time they spend with their kids. Jim Bob found it a wake-up call to slow down and give family time even more top priority. "Life gets busy, occasionally you take things for granted," he said. "But times like this help one to see things in context. Our family is our most priceless possession." Josie is on recovery now at home and surrounded by the love and care of her enormous family. She has been instructed to take it easy for some time, but she is already keen to resume her regular activities and adventures with her siblings.